The pass gets it to Cabinman, who fakes, then goes in, and then tries to pass to Bernardino, and she threw it right into the hands of China. So that's a missed opportunity for the Philippines. Liu into the corner, Guo, and the ball went off the foot of Wang. She was able to get it before it went out of bounds. Liu hands it off. Philippines appealing for 3 seconds.
Rightfully so. It seemed like she camped in there a while. I'm sure the officials have got their eye on that now.
What are you suggesting? She set up a tent?
Yeah, a little bit. She went on a camping holiday for a fortnight.
She had the grill up, cooking the fish. Here's Liu again, and she has it denied. Well, good defense by the Philippines. Cabinman to Animam again, and they beat China down the floor, and that is going to infuriate China's coach, Xu Liman.
And for me, that's one of the keys. You know, you're going up against the likes of Li Yeu, and you've got to make a run. You know, make her move that oversized body compared to yours harder and faster and take the energy out.
I like the play of Liu, though. She's come out, remember, at the end of the first half, rebounded, ran, started that fast break, and there she is, showing that nice soft touch in the lane. Pontejos. She did that over and over at the last Asia Cup, and then she tripped up Guo by accident. Here's Liu again on the baseline. Not successful that time. And then Li made the mistake of bringing the ball down, and the Philippines just took it right away.
And that is the mistake. You're a big player. You catch a rebound high, keep it up high, and just go straight back up.
Poor Miranda has just lost the touch from yesterday.
It's gone icy cold for her.
Whoa, catches it, passes back to Li, who runs in and kind of redeems herself with that layup.
Yeah, that was just layup lines for Li there.
Pontejos still can't get it to go. Look at this. That's why even if you're one of the biggest players on the court, you hustle down and you make yourself available.
And the thing is, because she got given the ball, she's going to make it even more likely that she's going to hustle down the floor and try and be a part of a transition offense. And you'd hope hustle back, because obviously in the last possession, Animam managed to get ahead of her.
Liu, I was quite impressed by her play, but she's come out now, and now Li has it. Interesting substitution. Chen Minglin back in. And grazing the outside of the net was Navalin. And China again on the counter, surrounded underneath the basket, and she stepped out of bounds. Wang. Philippines look like they've just decided, you know what, we're going to take away the paint. If you're going to score, you're going to have to do it from just outside the paint. But you're not getting any layups.
It's exactly what Chinese Taipei did in the previous game against Japan, and it worked. Funnily enough, in a second quarter as well. So we'll see if we get a repeat of the previous game. But it's a smart move, you know, make people take lower percentage shots, and if they're going to beat you from outside, then they're going to beat you from outside.
Pontejos finally gets it to go. Wang again goes baseline. And this is going to trigger a break potentially. No, Chen Minglin beats the Philippines to the ball. And Li with the basket. Qi Zhao also in the game. Pontejos brings a little rain. Yes, she does. Starting to feel it a little bit.
Yeah, that's her up to 7 points down. A completely different performance than we saw yesterday. She really struggled. You could see she was almost over-trying, a bit like Hayes has done today. She was over-trying yesterday, but it seems to be going a little bit more smoothly for Pontejos today.
Lee. And I think they called the foul before the shot.
I just love that there with Lee in the low post. Watch it now. Pontejos, she attacked Lee like my 4-year-olds attack me. Just the size difference is just unbelievable. It really is. But Pontejos there, the big three, and she's going to be important to the Philippines, not just today and for the rest of the tournament. She definitely brings a bit of spark with her.
"26 years of age, Pontejos. 1.65 meters in height. Guo misses, but there's Lee. And they're not able to get the ball away from the big center. And then Chen Minglin knocks it out. Here's Chen again, gets it back to Lee. And finally, the third time asking, she's able to catch it and score.
Yeah, and the problem Hayes had, she's already got 2 fouls, so she knows if she picks up a third, she's going to head to the bench. So she really offered up very little defense against Lee.
Pontejos this time maybe a little too ambitious. And she plays good D. Look at this. Pontejos steps back.
If she'd nailed that one, that's a highlight reel. That's straight there with the little crossover step back. That's going straight to the tape.
Nabalan guilty of a push there to be able to get the rebound. Castillo comes back into the game for Pontejos. I quite like seeing that. She's confident. She's confident she's going to make it. Trust me, she can make that shot.
And the thing is, it's what these underdog teams need. You need someone that's going to catch fire. If you're going to win these games against the powerhouses, you need someone that's going to have a 25, 30-point game.
Lee stops in the lane and hesitates and puts it up and scores. Nabalan got deep and got threw the ball off the underside of the backboard. Chen Minglin.
And again, Hayes can't play defense. She's on 2 fouls. So for Coach Aquino, I'm not sure whether that's wise. Your only effective big player being a player that can't mix it up physically.
And now again, she up to Chen Minglin. Beautiful pass, and the basket is good by Guo. That's when China are at their best, when they really get the ball in the middle of the floor, zip it up with those diagonal passes, and score in transition.
Yeah, they certainly know how to move the ball up really, up the floor really fast. And any team that plays against China, that's what you're going to want to limit. You'll want to try and bring them into a half-court game, and ideally you want to block out that paint. So you want it a half-court game where China are being forced to take 3.
And that made free throw will get Guo out of the game and bring Wu back in. Daz in the game, number 4. For the Philippines. Here's Hayes again. Hayes just trying to do too much, going one-on-one. Chen Minglin, but she has found her stroke. Chen Minglin. That's 3 3-pointers. Look at this.
Yeah, wonderful form on the shot, and one of the missing pieces, I think, from China's performance yesterday. So they'll be happy with that. She didn't even attempt a 3-pointer yesterday, so coming out with a hot hand today.
He also goes out while I battle the moth. It won't go away. It's not a bogong moth. Daz trying her luck from long range.
And I don't mind that. I don't mind, if I'm the Philippines coach, I don't mind open, long shots. The issue you've got is the rest of your team, one, need to know you're going to take that, and you're likely to take that. And two, they need to start moving into positions where the rebounds are going to come from. Because at the moment, they're not. There's no offensive boards fight from Philippines at all.
Chen has been feeling it, but she misses. Hangzhou misses as well, but is able to get the offensive rebound and putback as she falls over her teammate, Shi. Jose, bounce pass, Nabalan, and tries to sneak it up with Hangzhou right there to do the swat. And then Hangzhou just says, don't even bring it in here, and swats it out of bounds.
And it's so difficult when you're the Philippines going into the paint because you know you want to try and get high percentage shots, but you've got Hangzhou just dominating. You know,
just
absolutely dominating the paint.
That was swatted big time. Philippines save it in bounds, but into the hands of Lee, and then Wu brings up the floor. She open, and she says, why not? Jose gets it back. Well, even the footwork wasn't going to give her an open look. Boy.
And that's one of the strengths of Hangzhou is the fact that although she's young, although she is quite tall and quite, you know, long-limbed, she still has really relatively good footwork defensively. Sometimes you can catch oversized players napping on their feet, not quite quick enough, but good defensive footwork there.
Kelly Hayes, meanwhile, her struggles continue. Three-pointer, how about that from Nabalan?
And you have a feeling this is part of the plan for the Philippines. You know, you live by the three, you die by the three, and they're going to try and fire their way back into this game from the outside.
She to Hangzhou, turns. Castillo goes baseline. Hayes, will this be it? Yes, finally. She had missed her first 6 shots, but finally gets the 3 to go.
And you can see from her body language as well on the floor, she's part relieved and part so frustrated with herself that she hasn't had the performance that she wanted.
Well, Wu just went unmolested right down the middle of the lane. Hayes again making it perhaps a little harder than it needed to be. She could have attempted a 3 even. Trying to throw the ball out of bounds here with 31.6 seconds to go in the first half. Leading it by 19.
The thing you have with Hayes in that situation, she had the mismatch. She needs to use what her advantage is, and in that situation it's going to be her speed and her handle and her footwork. It's not going to be trying to almost outreach.
And now China force a turnover, so that's a bad one for the Philippines.
She's got another clock issue now as well. They didn't stop it when the ball went out of bounds.
This is good that Zhu is able to play a lot of players tonight. Patrick Aquino looking on, wondering. I mean, I think we've actually seen better play overall from Philippines tonight.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd agree with you. I think we've seen a more rounded Philippines performance here. They've got a bit of outside game going on, which they didn't have in the first game. You know, they only shot 26% from the perimeter in the first game. So,
but they also, you know, the way they came out strong in the second quarter. You know, they got that early bucket by Animam after a nice play. I mean, it was, you know, it was working for a while. They're just not really able to sustain it, and a lot of it is, of course, China. They get the ball. And they get 2 or 3 shots with offensive rebounds. Just keep piling on the pressure.
Yeah, they've already got 9 offensive rebounds. They're winning the overall rebounding battle 31-21. No real surprise, but for the Philippines to be competitive, they need to eat into that margin a little bit.
Wu Oh, look at that. Throws it up for Hangzhou. A little bit of Lob City. She didn't dunk it, but can't fault the lobber. Nabelinger's right at Hangzhou. And they've left enough time for China to get one more shot. Lee. And gets it up just a little bit too late. And China will go to halftime with a commanding lead. Here's one more look. Look at the lob. Good basketball.
Yeah, great basketball. Great team basketball as well, knowing that she's going to be there. She's going to wait for that pass to come across. And again, another example of a soft touch from Hangzhou.
China on top 47-26 against the Philippines at halftime.
Shooting percentages, again, you know, we keep saying they don't lie. Philippines below 30% in all categories, and China above 50% from twos, above 30% for threes, and the free throws are dropping as well. But we talked about it just now, rebounding battle, 33 rebounds. Good for the Philippines, though, to have 9 offensive boards in that first half. That's great for them to be battling, but what team basketball are China playing? 17 assists on their 47 points. A really impressive team offensive display.
What I've really enjoyed from China, 20 fast break points. When they get it out in transition and go, they're fun to watch. And right now it's China in command, 47-26 at halftime over the Philippines. And hoping to go 2-0 to set up a battle of 2-0 teams with Australia here at the Fiba Women's Asia Cup. We'll be right back before the start of the second half.
effectively an alley-oop finish. They get it to Yang. He gets it in the paint, pulls it back. Will it be another one? Yes, it will! Right at the end of the first half, Lee drills back-to-back three-pointers. There's a nice drive and a basket right before
Ching Minglin, 13 points, getting hot from long range, and it's her performance that really kind of sparked China here in this game against the Philippines tonight. China on top 47-26, looking to go to 2-0 and set up a battle of unbeatens against Australia. And Pontejos, the captain for the Philippines, finally got the ball to drop. She's got 7 points and 3 rebounds. Coach will be hoping that she can come out and pour in some more points in the second half.
Yeah, it's been definitely a different look, Pontejos, than we had from the first night where she didn't register a single point. So that's a real positive for the Philippines, not just for this game, but obviously for their big game that they've got coming up tomorrow as well when they take on New Zealand.
There's the lady that helped us with our pronunciations.
Yeah.
She seems to be
saw her at the halftime. She's happy. She's promised me, though, that you're going to see an even better China in the second half.
All right.
That's what she's promised. So we're going to hold her to that, I think.
So this is day 2 of the Fiba Women's Asia Cup. Philippines 0-1 going up against 1-0 China. And Chan getting the start here, guarding guarding Lee. Liu also in, as well as Guo. As usual, a lot of size on the front line for China. And Liu not able to complete it that time.
But straight away, Chan made her impact. You know, she read that situation well and helped her cross at the perfect time.
Cabinbin gets it over to Chan. Now Pontejos with a little runner from the baseline. Lee finds Liu. And Liu lays it up and in. Hayes, beautiful pass.
Great play by Hayes. She struggled in this game, and maybe that's the way, kind of for redemption for her, maybe become a bit more of a provider, because she has struggled to find her form from any form of range.
Lee again, the second straight time trying to go down and throw it underneath the basket and get an easy shot. And Pontejos' pass knocked away, stolen. Here's Lee, wide open fast break. Aquino surely is going to have to get a timeout. Philippines just giving up 3 consecutive layups effectively.
Yeah, they've certainly not come focused in this third quarter on the defensive end. It will be a concern because the score could spread.
Wu bumped. Is it by Chan or by Hayes?
Yeah, I think it was by Chan. I think Chan was just trying to get a foot onto the baseline, but was just a little bit late getting there.
So Chan with 2 fouls. Yeah, you're right. Well, Chan does her best, doesn't she, to battle down low. And again, Lewis moves over and gets the loose ball. Wu. Bounce pass to Pontejos, trying to get some contact. Well, she should get some free throws.
That's a smart move by Cabinbin. She's almost forced Pontejos to make that backdoor cut.
You're right.
She's looking at her saying, please just make the backdoor cut because I've got the passing angle if you do. And yeah, Pontejos going to thank Cabinbin for getting her a trip to the line.
Well, nowhere to go for Wu. She just kind of ran into Chan.
Yeah, that's
and lost the ball out of bounds.
an alley with a dead end that she ran into there, that's for sure.
You know, I mean, speaking in all honesty, I mean, Chan's arguably their most effective player in this game.
Yeah, but certainly on the defensive end, and Hayes will be happy to see she got an assist and a couple of points early on in this second half, because the first half certainly was one to forget for her. But yeah, Chan defensively, absolutely. You know, the Chinese, I'm not sure if they really know how to play against that kind of defender who's just going to use strength and, you know, that kind of physicality to stop the taller players from getting where they want to be.
And that time, Chan was kind of drawn away. And right when she did, Lee snuck in there to catch the pass and gets a three-point play opportunity. Look at her. She helps on Wu, and that was the problem. She had to drop to help.
Yeah, it's almost you need, am I helping or am I not helping? Sometimes it's best not to help and let that go, you know, let the first player take the shot rather than step across, because Hayes has now picked up.
Look at all the Chinese players to the left of the screen. They're all like off the bench and warming up like they want to. I don't know. Is that a new way for Zhu Liman to get him ready? Anyway, trying to get it going the other way. Then Pontejos reaches in and knocks it off of Wu.
He's really interesting. I saw it in the first half, and what you found was after a while, they started making their way back to the bench. They kind of gradually filtered back onto the bench. But at the start of the first half, it was the same thing. Like you say, I don't know whether it's a, there's obviously some kind of reason behind it, staying ready to get on the floor and make an impact, maybe.
Cabinbin to Hayes. Another three-pointer for Hayes.
Certainly prefers this basket to the other one.
The Chinese team, the left part of your screen, off the court, the reserves. And Liu goes up strong. I guess over there they probably don't have to hear as much from their coach. Now the pass to Pontejos.
Maybe you have to earn your seat on the bench. Maybe they haven't earned their right to get a seat yet. You've got to come in and put some sweat on the floor before you get a seat on the bench.
And Jose just right move, just nowhere near the complete product on the finish. Chan doing everything to keep Lee away from the ball. Now Guo goes up, and Chan comes down with the rebound. It fell kindly to her.
It looks like China are about to make a 5-for-5 swap.
Yeah, so he must have been watching the previous game and thought, I'll try that.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It was Chinese Taipei, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't work for Coach Wagner, so I hope for China's sake that they don't have the same fortune.
Pontejos looks like she might have hurt her arm going for that. And we're also going to see, is it a 5-for-5 swap for the Philippines? How about that? So both teams going 5-for-5. Maybe the coaches have agreed that's what they would do.
Interesting. That's for sure.
I've never seen 5-and-5 come off the bench for both teams.
Certainly keeps the person on the stats software busy, plumbing in 10 changes in one go.
Yeah, I just saw the person doing it just put his hand to his head, thinking, oh my goodness.
I think I saw some smoke coming up from the fingers.
Gao Song at the stripe, drills it, the veteran. Beautiful bounce pass and finish for Bernardino. Ponko delivered the pass.
And it's one of the things I've been impressed by the Philippines. Their passing and that kind of close-range passing, which can be difficult sometimes, is very well executed.
Gao Song says, I'm going to take it a little bit further out. Bernardino saves an inbounds to Tonko. Bernardino, Hongju, two-handed overhead pass. And then Bernardino takes it right away from Yang. And Yang doesn't want to commit the foul, but she does. And great job by Bernardino, knowing exactly what she was doing.
Oh, absolutely. Bernardino pretty much demanded that foul. She wasn't going to stop until she took the foul. There's the backdoor pass to Bernardino in the play before, and here's her driving the basket. You see her stepping across. Smart move, because she knows that Yang's not going to be able to stop.
She's really got more savvy, I think, than any player in the team.
Yeah, real heads-up player, and it's showing. You know, both games she's performed well. She's up to 6 points now, tons to extend that to 7, and obviously had 15 in that first game yesterday.
You always build them up, and then they miss a free throw.
Yeah, that seems to be part of the job.
She has it up high. Now Gao, Song. Nobody boxed out Yang, and she goes up with an easy putback. And good D by Shi. Passes up to Yang.
And for me at the moment, I'm feeling sorry for Chen Minling. She's the last Chinese player left standing off the bottom of the baseline all on her own at the moment, just waiting
although
Coach Xu to bring her in, I suppose.
But Xiao Ting is just sitting on the bench, so maybe she's not going to come in the second half.
Maybe.
Hannemann bounce pass, almost, but China read it. Yang came up with the steal. She doesn't make it.
It's not a bad move from Coach Xu either with regards to Xiao Ting, because she is probably the highest profile player. She really is that spark, and if China get into a bit of a slump at any point in this tournament, you imagine the ball will fall into the hands of Xiao Ting. So
if she can rest.
Yeah, is it worth risking her as well? Not just the rest, the potential to injury in this situation, because you would be kicking yourself if you're up by nearly 30 points and you get an injury to your star player.
Look at Bernardino. Goodness me, that was quality stuff. Going right at Yang, who had no way of stopping her.
She has played for the Philippines in 3-on-3, and you can see in that kind of move exactly where that move comes from. That's a full 3-on-3 kind of style play.
There's Bernardino. See what she does here. She's going to get the pick. Miranda has been absolutely silent today. Here's Bernardino again. Decides to go to Tonko. She makes the pass to Gao Song. Good defense by Hannemann and forcing the turnover. And Gao Song knows she's not going to win that argument. It was clear. Hannemann did a good job. I'd like to know what's happened to Miranda today.
Yeah, slightly quieter day for her.
There's Hannemann again. Look at that. Good plays on both ends of the floor. But again, releasing early was Guo and trying to get a layup.
And the thing you've got is, if you're Hannemann, you've got to look at your teammates and go, please help me out. I've just scored under the other basket. Can someone else be the safety? Can someone else go back and, you know, protect home, as it were?
It didn't look like Miranda was going to get that call, but then they did call the foul on Yang. Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a slightly late whistle. I think everyone was in here going, and the whistle.
Yang,
oh, yeah, there's a whistle.
Yang can give the left arm back now. And he really got a lot of that.
Close inspection.
Hongju comes over and has words with the coach, and he says, have a seat. Jose's got some scratches on her arm. Look at that. Maybe the free throws will get Miranda more involved.
Oh, and a 1-2-1-1 zone press now.
Quick pass, and Ching Mingling benefits with the basket.
Straight on the floor and straight back to scoring points for Chen.
Oh, beautiful bounce pass to Bernardino. Oh, she missed it. That was going to be a top 5. No-look bounce pass from, I think, Tonko.
Yeah, it was great play by Tonko.
Abalan. There's a bounce pass again, and Bernardino makes it. Oh.
And the great thing is, Bernardino isn't doing anything revolutionary. All she's doing is she's seeing her teammates driving in, and she's making that secondary cut behind them and getting rewarded every time.
Guo from the left. Nice stroke from Guo. Tonko goes behind her back. Miranda, pump fake. And right at the end of the quarter, Philippines couldn't quite get it, but I think Aquino has to be happy with some of the execution on offense in that quarter.
Yeah, much, much better. They racked up 21 points against China's 24, so they'll be much happier.
So at the end of 3 quarters, China on top 71-47 against the Philippines.
But a much better quarter by the Philippines there. It's off the back of the offensive work from Bernardino, and in particular Kelly Hayes. She had a really torrential, kind of awful first half, but seems to have picked it up in that third quarter. She's up to 8 points personal, Bernardino up to 10. And the Philippines actually looking to find some options on the offensive end that they didn't really have in that first half. As for China offensively, they still plow on. 24 points in that third quarter.
Bernardino, very active. Look at this. This was a... Ooh, did she walk there? Such a tough move. We're not going to call it. So the third quarter stats.
And as you can see, China shooting well from inside, 60% from inside. And the Philippines, their stats are starting to move in the right direction now. And you can see that from the points that they're putting on the board, but still in full control, the Chinese.
Taz comes back in, number 4. Pontejo, excuse me.
Yeah, forced it there. Didn't even look once at any of her teammates. She was determined to get a shot away.
And now Chen Mingling, probably going to go for more than 20 points. That's 17. Hayes.
Again, she's gone back to forcing it when she didn't need to. When she let the game come to her, let the offense come to her, then she started scoring points and creating assists.
Over from the left corner, good, the 3-pointer. She's had a good second half.
Yeah, and you can see the smile on her face after that one as well. She certainly enjoyed that jumper.
Hayes follows up her own miss.
For me, that's the right shot, but again, it just seems like she's really trying way too hard at the moment.
Whoa, again, now she's got a team high 20. In fact, a game high 20 points.
And this really is, for me, the threat of the Chinese team. You look at who was performing yesterday's game, who's performing today, and they're completely different, really. Guo, yesterday, only 2 points to her name, and then tonight, you know, today she's come out with a 20-point and a really impressive offensive firepower. That said, she does have to thank the Filipino team for playing such poor perimeter defense as well.
And she's also gotten ahead on a couple of fast breaks. Has wants more minutes. Misses both free throws, but Lee not able to rebound it, and Daz chases it down. This Filipino unit that's on the floor right now doesn't seem to have anything close to the passing, the movement that the previous 5 had.
No, nowhere near. Absolutely nowhere near at the moment, but I have a feeling that's not going to stay the same for very long.
Oh boy, you were going to 22 with that one.
Too close. Too close.
Too close. Too easy.
Yeah.
And again, Philippines not going for the rebound. How did China not come away with points?
No, it's crazy. Crazy. And obviously we're talking about Kelly Hayes, and just looking at her game, she needs to adjust it to FIBA basketball as well. At the moment, she's playing a very American style of basketball, a little bit isolation. She's trying to shake and move and lose a defender on her own, and that's not what works in FIBA basketball. In international competition, it's a team sport. It really is, and you have to rely on your teammates.
Daz has it knocked out of her hands, and now it's Chen Minglin. Goes down and scores with the left hand. Tejos goes in and, well, trying to get the rebound.
Crazy statistic that. 38 fast break points for China. Almost half their points have been on the fast break.
Tejos commits the foul. Kino must be thinking oh boy, there was no doubt about it as well on that foul. Okay, so Chan comes back in for Hayes. Tejos with 3 fouls. Kino obviously sees the difference. What he had in the 3rd quarter, and he's guessing he's going to take him to task as to what happened to their execution.
Yeah, and that's all it comes down to. They're not trying to do anything differently. They're not executing. And again, for the Philippines, it stems from a defensive effort. And at the moment, their defense is, they're not hustling for rebounds. They're not boxing out. They're not really, putting the effort in on the defensive end that they did before. And that's now an 11-0 start to the final quarter for China.
Castillo gets the contact. 2 shots. Foul called on Lee reaching in. Not Lee Yueru, the center, but Lee, the guard.
Just watching Xu Liming on the China bench while that happens, and I used to have a coach like this as well, and you used to hate to sit on the bench because all the mistakes that the players on the court made, you're the one that gets the flag for it, and you just sit there going, if you put me on the floor, then maybe you can have a go at me. But at the moment, I'm not on the floor, so why is it my fault? But yeah, I used to have a coach who used to come screaming at the bench for all the mistakes on the floor.
Oh, Guo with the shouting spin, and she just learned to appreciate that move all the more, and now Lee is down holding her left shoulder, hopefully, or right shoulder, excuse me.
Yeah, a wrestle between Lee and Chen, and looks like Lee's come out the worst for wears on that.
Oh, Chan. Yeah,
Chan just fell on top of her, and I think it's just maybe knocked the wind out of her a little bit.
She was definitely holding her shoulder. She gives a polite bow as she leaves the court, and now she'll get some care over on the bench. But yeah, she's kind of walking gingerly over there. Now she gets a pat on the back from the trainer. Three-point attempt from Guo. And Wu with the rebound.
And exactly what we're talking about. The Philippines have just lost their structure to rebound the ball at the moment, and that's how China have really capitalized.
That is going right at Lee. Probably should have made the shot. Lee says, I'm going to get down and get into big Hongju. Nice. That's where China have truly excelled on the counterattack tonight.
Oh, their fast break game has been really, really impressive. I've seen very few teams that have executed as well as they have in the fast break. 41 points now from fast breaks for China. And, you know, partly you have to give the hat tip to China, but you also have to say to the Philippines, look, you need to wake up. If it means one of you cheats out on the offense and doesn't crash the offensive boards at all, and just literally your entire job is just to go and defend the paint, and so be it.
It's okay, don't worry. Just keep on playing. Just keep on playing. Never give up, all right? Get that experience we can get from here.
还有一个就是大家注意那个一定要是今天上午咱们练习的内容，就是你在接球一瞬间，是吧？接球这样看的是几个点以点带面然后结合接人在接力瞬间结合的是再看突传球
Interesting listening to the Filipino timeout there with Coach Aquino saying, don't worry, use the experience, take the experience. I agree with the second half. I don't agree with the first half of that statement for me. You've gone 0-15 to the start of the fourth quarter. I'm going to chew my players out a little bit because it's not like you've gone 0-15, but you're doing everything you possibly can not to be, and the other team are just dominating you. Philippines aren't playing anywhere near their potential. No. And for me, that's when you call them out and you say, wait a minute, as much as we are, you know, up against it, we should be playing better than this. But I do agree with the fact, you know, bring the experience in, learn as much as you can, make sure you're conscious of everything going on the floor.
But make sure you try a little bit better. Look at Chan. Oh, it was online, but short. Yang buries a three in front of the China bench. Yeah, I mean, you want the effort to be there. Maybe a few times the effort wasn't there, especially trying to rebound China's misses. And I don't think you can write that off to fatigue because, you know, this unit hasn't been on the court as much.
No, it definitely hasn't. And ultimately, the Chinese team have played just as many minutes as the Filipino team have as well.
Anju passes it back, and Liu, she's got some nice game, doesn't she?
She really has. For someone of her size that can play that back to the basket, she's quite smooth when she's dribbling the ball.
She can play, she's really a three, I think, in this team.
Yeah, definitely. You could definitely put her, if you wanted to go really, really big, you could definitely put her at the three.
But if she played for the Philippines, she would be an out-and-out center.
Yes, she would. Yeah, she would. She'd be their one true big. You know, the Philippines, realistically, you've got a couple of fours and a couple of threes playing at four, but you don't really have that true, legitimate, you know, big. I suppose Chan on the ball now would be the one that you probably would say is your big, but she's obviously undersized.
Oh, look at that. The give and go. Chan, good. That's the more like it.
And if ever a player deserved to get some points, it's probably Chan. She's worked so hard defending the post. Great to see her get some points on the board.
Yang dumps it down low to Hongju. That is Castillo, excuse me, from the baseline. So that part of the floor has been kind to the Philippines here the last couple of trips down. Now Berlin got a hand on that pass. Watch Liu, she's got a nice touch. Just a little short. Nabelan again goes up. Hey, how about that finish? And all of a sudden, well, maybe Aquino got it right.
Absolutely, I take it back. You know, if that's what his timeout, the impact his timeouts had, then
just positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Just doesn't stop China from getting down the floor quicker, though.
No, it's helped their offense. Maybe really hasn't impacted their defensive effort at the moment, but they are looking really tired on the floor at the moment. You know, the Philippines team are looking a little bit jaded by today's game.
And they're going to feel even more tomorrow. They'll have less time to rest to get ready for New Zealand. That'll be the first game of the day.
Yeah, New Zealand will have an extra 4 hours rest on the Philippines for that one as well.
There's Lee, the hero, or the heroine from the opening game, drilling a 3.
Yeah, 13 points in that opening game, and she didn't miss from outside.
Castillo this time puts herself into a spin cycle and loses the ball out of bounds. So Chen Minglan says, I'm going to go back in the game and try to become the leading scorer, but Guo also comes back in. She is leading the scoring, so...
No, Chen Mingling's got 21 points at the moment. Guo's on 19, so...
Oh, is that right? Oh, I thought she had...
I thought it was a 3, but I think it might have just been a 2 that put her to 19. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a battle for game high scorer between those two. They're both on form today.
Castillo from downtown. Downtown Bengaluru. The ball goes out of bounds. Yang likes that corner. Boy rebounds the miss. Now the pass to Chen Minglan. And foul called on Hangzhou. Excuse me, a foul called, which will send Hangzhou to the line.
Yeah, I think Jose just pulling on her arm, really. Once Hangzhou brings the ball up high, it's your only option. You can't really contest or try and block it. You can see she does well, she keeps it up high, and yeah, Jose has to just pull on her arm to stop her from scoring.
Good call. Well, the challenge for Hangzhou will just to get stronger. And obviously, if you're going to be a big and you start making everything, teams are going to foul you. So you have to be a good free throw shooter.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think the free throw shooting is probably more important than the strength even.
Nice finish. Dazzles. First 2 of the game for her. This is there. In some ways, I think Hangzhou finds hitting the jump shot easier than the shots in the paint. Because she looked really good last night on those shots. Nabelan hustles down the court. The ball goes through the hands of Daz. She gets it back. Steps back. Nope, that's short.
Teammates are on their feet on the bench hoping for that one to drop, and big smiles on their faces. At least they're enjoying their experience at the Asia Cup. It might not be the result they wanted, but it was probably the result they were expecting.
That was the drive that she did convert.
Yeah.
Not long ago. So Lee comes out and she comes back into the game. Also coming back in is Wang. She makes it.
Straight into the game and nails the 3. The score of the game for she. And this is the problem you've got when you face China. You've got great shooters and great fundamentals throughout their 12.
Oh, looked like a travel by Castillo. Went unnoticed, I think. Nabelan has it. Shot clock winding down here in the final minute. Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was going as well. That was on perfect form.
quickly to Lee, another fast break point.
Yeah, 49 fast break points now, 53 points from the bench for China. Just unbelievable team basketball that they played.
Well, overall, it's been a good night for Chinese basketball. They're going to go to 2-0. Philippines played in fits and starts, although I guess you could also say the same about China, but they had more sustained excellence. Nevertheless, nice way to finish the game for Castillo right at the end of the shot clock. And here's China with one last chance, and she is going to attempt another one and make it.
And that sums the game up for me. Philippines pull off one of the best moves of the game. And then it doesn't just get neutralized, it gets overdone by Shi hitting the three at the other end.
Look at that. It's going with the reverse, knowing the spin. Even Aquino is going like, woo!
On the reverse with a high spin off the glass as well.
Now, this is obviously a bad play because China are now going to inbound the ball underneath their own basket and get a chance for another basket. Maybe they'll just inbound it.
Yeah, it would make sense.
And not attempt a shot.
Just inbound it and see out the clock now. 3 seconds to go. They've had a
no, they're going to run a play. You never know when it might come in handy. Chen Minglin. And then for the follow, Lee misses. Well, that's it, folks. China roll to a big victory, 104-57. But I have to say, I was thoroughly entertained. Except for that patch early in the fourth quarter. Philippines kind of woke up. Nevertheless, China win it big, 104-57. Next up, Australia. What's it feel to be 2-0? Feel like to be 2-0? Well, there you see it. All smiles, relief. I'm sure Zhu Lehman will have good words for his team as they go to the changing room. They've had to come through one real battle against New Zealand. Now they've clinched their second. High fives all the way around in China with the 10 3-pointers, 34-60 inside the arc, 6 of 9 at the line, beating the Philippines pretty handily in the end. Also almost doubling them up in the rebounds, 67-38, 22 offensive rebounds for China. Bernardino finished with 10 points for the Philippines to lead the way for them. And Chen Minglin, she had the 21 for China, a game high. Wu and Han leading the way in the defensive stats and overall the top scorers. So Guo has to finish as the second leading scorer. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. They're not going to go home crying about it.
No, I don't think she'll be bothered. 19 points to a name, she'll be happy with that.
Have we seen enough from China to think that they're title contenders here?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, so far from the games that we've seen, I don't think anything's changed with our kind of pre-tournament predictions of it being...
Definitely podium contenders.
Yeah, definitely podium contenders. And realistically, China, Japan and Australia are in the driving seat. They really have kind of taken it to the teams that they face. They've all kind of stuttered at times as well, which is great to see. They've shown some weaknesses, and be interesting to see how the opposing coaching teams look to exploit that. But tonight, China were in fine form against the Philippines, and some of the stats you read out there, 22 offensive rebounds, just a phenomenal effort. I don't think they'll be able to do the same kind of things against the likes of Japan and Australia if they end up meeting those. But there's other things as well. 56 of their, almost half their points come from the bench. You look at the rotations as well. You know, every player is getting time on the floor, and in fact, Xiao Ting got the least amount of time. She only played 6.5 minutes, which will pay massive dividends when they get to the back end of the tournament with having your superstar rested. That's
a good thing. And 54 fast break points of their 104 points, China. So they were getting down the floor and getting some easy baskets, and that's where they're happiest, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stems from the power that they have in the front court with the likes of Han Zhu and Lee in the front court. The kind of guards go, well, I know I don't need to go and battle for the rebound. There's no point in me going into the paint, so I leak. As soon as a shot goes up, unless my players go into the basket for the offensive board and I need to box out, I'm going to leak. I'm gone. I'm down the court. And obviously straight away that means when Han Zhu and the likes of Lee turn around, in front of them are people running the lanes, and they found them, and leads to 54 fast break points in just 40 minutes.
This was Chan's deserved highlight. She's a real hard worker in there. I think brings a lot of toughness, much needed toughness on the interior for the Philippines. And also Bernardino was, I think, more good from bad than from her. I mean, she's not going to play 40 minutes, but usually when she's out there, she's bringing something to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing you have for the Philippines now, obviously instantly their head starts looking forward to tomorrow now when they take on New Zealand in the opening game for tomorrow. Obviously New Zealand will have 4 hours extra rest, but effectively for that game, the New Zealand-Filipino game now tomorrow, it's going to be a matter of the winner secures their Division A status, and the loser is going to have to go into what is effectively a playoff to stay in Division A. So you'd rather get that done at the first attempt than the second. So a huge, huge game for the Philippines tomorrow now.
No question about it, a massive game. So today we have watched Australia roll to a big win over New Zealand, Japan blow open a close game and beat Chinese Taipei, and now China have won against the Philippines. Next up will be Korea and India. These are the standings. Australia and China up at the top. They'll battle. Oh, their battle of the unbeatens comes up tomorrow, and New Zealand and the Philippines, the battle of the winless teams at 0-2. One more coming your way tonight, folks. Thanks for watching.